No Man's Sky is many things. It can be an immersive space simulator where you craft your own outpost, gather supplies and resources, and try to live out a space fantasy. It can also be a space opera, where you travel the galaxy, interact with aliens and strangers, and do battle with deadly foes. It can also be a space set mystery, where you try and uncover what is in the center of the galaxy. While No Man's Sky launched with less content than expected, it has since grown to become something unique. It's a game set in space, across the galaxy, in spacecraft, on alien worlds, all about surviving, gathering resources, and making a life for yourself. Like No Man's Sky, Astroneer has you take on the role of a space explorer. This time around, your task is to colonize strange worlds, to gather supplies and resources, and to terraform the environment. The problem is that everything is randomized and procedural. You have no idea what to expect. Aiding your efforts are spacecraft you can pilot, rovers you can drive, and portals you can use. Astroneer is all about space exploration and the promise of a future. It's about surviving at the moment and then hopefully in the future. ICARUS is a game that isn't afraid to fly too close to the sun, as it strives to innovate in the survival genre. It features session-based gameplay that ups the stakes. Players have a limited time to land on a terraformed planet, gather resources, complete their mission, and survive long enough to return to the safety of orbit. Each drop to the planet effectively sees the player starting from scratch except for their skills and blueprints. Craft the tools you need to get the job done and shelter if needed. Do whatever it takes to make sure you are on that drop pod at the end of your mission time, or else your character is lost forever. The mining vessel, the USG Ishimura, has gone silent and adrift. Isaac Clarke and his team are sent to investigate and conduct any repairs. What they don't know is that a religious cult aboard the vessel has harvested an artifact from the planet, and now the crew are turning into deadly creatures in Dead Space. Dead Space is a survival horror game in which you battle the elements and monstrous alien creatures. You must navigate the Ishimura, power up or down systems, reserve supplies and oxygen, traverse zero-gravity environments, and figure out what has happened. Dead Space might be one of the deadliest games about space survival.
Will be made whole, Mr. Clarke. With or without you.
The Callisto Protocol comes from Glenn Schofield, who you might be familiar with from his previous survival horror experience, Dead Space. In the Callisto Protocol, players are taking the role of Jacob Lee, a contract freight transporter, where his latest transport goes awry as he's forced to crash land on Callisto, one of Jupiter's moons. Unfortunately, this is also the moon where a heavily armed prison facility is located. Mysteriously, Jacob finds himself thrown into prison without a trial. If things weren't already bad, an alien parasite has plagued the facility, leaving nothing but havoc and chaos. Players will have to battle their way through the prison in search of what's going on and a means of escape from this hellhole.
Survivor detected.
After a disaster in which a space station is nearly destroyed, an astronaut must navigate the ruins, uncover what happened, and recover her memories in the process. You slowly piece together the unfortunate events and then must find a way home. Adrift has you in zero gravity, monitoring oxygen levels and using your wits to solve puzzles and find a way home. It's a game where space itself is the enemy, where one false move can be the end, and where every action you take can have repercussions.
Survivor detected. Hardman Aerospace North Star 4. EVA suit critically damaged.
You captain a spaceship with a mission to inform your allies about a rebel fleet in pursuit of you. Faster Than Light is a roguelike strategy game where you must maintain the vessel, monitor your crew, and survive random encounters with enemies across the galaxy. Game is all about management. You have supplies and resources. You have an objective. It's your job to make them last until your mission is complete. You can upgrade your ship along the way, but if it gets destroyed, it's game over and you must start again. Oxygen Not Included puts you in charge of a small group living within an asteroid. It's a game that will quickly suck you in and demand hours of your time. However, the concept is pretty straightforward as well. Here you'll look over a small colony trying to survive on an asteroid. In hopes of escaping, you'll need to ensure their survival needs are met. As a result, you're dealing with the usual things such as fresh oxygen, warmth, and food, among other casual needs, day in and day out. However, as you progress, the ability to turn out those needs becomes incredibly difficult. It's a battle to keep your colony thriving but not stretching supplies so thin that it becomes impossible to keep up. Starbound is a game that resembles Terraria. It's another 2D adventure title, but set in space. In this game, players are exploring the different planets that they visit from their ship, each of which has an assortment of different biomes with resources to harvest. From there, it's up to the players on what they'd like to do. Players can seek out quests to take on, simply explore the endless procedurally generated worlds, harvest resources to craft up items and begin building creatively, or hunt down the hostile creatures that lurk around the planet. Like other titles on this list, the developers encourage modding and give players the tools to create their own unique content. Outer Wilds is a story and mystery-driven game in which you play as an alien who takes to the skies in a space vessel in search of answers. Answers concerning a strange time loop enveloping the galaxy, answers concerning your people and their history. Outer Wilds highlights the dangers of space travel, the anomalies, the surprises, and the unknown. You can visit alien worlds, ravaged by tornadoes and maelstroms. There are planets filled with secrets and hidden portals. Outer Wilds makes space seem vast and joyous, but also scary. One of the sillier, more comedic games about surviving space, Breathedge, has you take on the role of a man aboard a spaceship who is trying to find a resting place for his grandfather. Naturally, that's not a simple task because the ship gets wrecked and it becomes something far tougher than expected. You must maintain oxygen levels, find tools to solve puzzles, build bases, and make it off the spaceship. Meanwhile, there's an immortal chicken aboard too. Breathedge is a funny, bizarre game where surviving space isn't the only focus. When the crew of a space station goes missing, the onboard AI is rebooted and must investigate. Using camera feeds, drones, and other gadgets and technology, you must find out what happened to your crew, uncover your past, and solve puzzles along the way. Observation is a science fiction thriller where you are responsible for the survival of your crew. The problem is that you don't know where they are. You must reboot systems, put out fires, explore the unknown, and query anomalies in a science fiction game that goes dark and twisty while maintaining a high level of realism throughout.
Your scan range is limited, so use your camera zoom to get closer. Okay. That should be reinstalling the system link interface.
A city-building strategy game, Surviving Mars is about constructing a colony on Mars, gathering supplies and resources, and surviving as long as possible. Along the way, you'll contend with natural events, plagues, wars, and politics. Surviving Mars uses real data and information to create a realistic depiction of the Red Planet. It relies on actual science and technology to allow you to survive the environment. You'll need oxygen, food, farms, water, and more to make it on Mars, but different factions require varying needs, making it a challenge for you. Space Engineers is another sandbox game on our list, as well as another that saw early access for a long period of its lifetime. Players start either in a specific setting with different parameters that are chosen by the players. Once you start, you can basically expect to mine for resources and materials to create structures and other items to fill out your world. It is very similar to Minecraft in the sense that you are given free reign over creation to better accentuate the type of world you are in and the kind of resources you require. Also, like Minecraft, there is a creative mode where you can take control of how many resources you have and how you would like to build without having to worry about mining or searching for them yourself. Celine crash lands on a strange planet filled with deadly creatures and aliens. She must run and gun her way through the environment, gathering pickups and perks to help her battle and survive. Meanwhile, she can investigate ancient architecture and uncover the mysteries of the planet. Plus, she's caught in a time loop. Every time she dies, she reverts to the moment she crashed, only to repeat everything she just did. While Returnal takes place entirely on a planet, its science fiction story and setting showcase the dangers of the unexplored.